I'm reminded of the training grounds that Talon pointed out from the overlook at High Clearing. While I could use a bit of solitude before the evening ceremonies, something calls me to go and see if there are warriors there. My childlike fascination for the Hearser takes hold of me and guides my footsteps as I make my way through the crowd through the crowded clearings towards the smoke. I only stay for a little while. I wind my way through the pathways, past the temptations of the sign stones and through the busy preparations of the sanctum. The sounds of classic metal begin to ring through the forest, and I follow them to my mark. Growls and grunts of exertions mingle with the breeze as I come upon the open clearing, which hosts many pockets of Hersa warriors as they lunge at one another in combat. To my relief, the sound of ringing metal seems to emanate from the structures that line the perimeter of the clearing, some releasing a steady stream of black smoke from within their halls, metalsmiths. A few heads are drawn my way as I enter the clearing. A quick scan around tells me that not many people come here to observe, and I wonder if it's even permitted. Without anyone to ask, I simply resolve to find a spot to sit out of the way. Surely someone will come to tell me if my presence isn't wanted. I scamper up a large rock formation on the edge of the arena, hidden in the shadow of the tall pines, and soon enough the warriors return to their training. There are about 20 or so men in various groups scattered about. Some of these groups hone their bodies with the impressively large stones of muscle embrace, only for the earth itself to shake when they inevitably release them. The men share an aspiring camaraderie as cheering and playful tuts resound through the grounds at each successful feat. My eyes drift to the combatants in the ferocious clash of muscle and bone. Men and wolves alike huddle around circles of sand, each with a wrestling pair at the center. The sweat on their naked bodies drips from skin and fur as they make attempts to throw one another against the earth or against a pain that would see the loser yielding. It's brutal to watch, though deeply fascinating. The grappling men scream and growl at one another, while in conflict, yet once in winter claims honor, the two display warm kinship. At the center of the clearing are four large stone wolves, locked in a brawl, 3 against 1. The Herser, a militaristic society steeped in the art of combat, flourishes in the rugged grasslands and perilous mountains of the western coast, guided by their chieftains and matriarchs and storm wolves, direct their might against the dark wood fiends to the north and the hostile human forces across the sea. United in purpose and fierce in spirit, they stand as a bastion of strength against all who threaten the realm. The lone wolf is agile on his paws, evading quick blows and delivering his own with tremendous power. One after another, the other throws themselves at him in various formations. I'm transfixed by his strength, watching as he lifts one of his assailants by the waist and tosses him aside with ease. Then amidst the growls and thrown punches, his eyes fixed upon me, causing my heart to jump in my chest. In his distraction, a large paw slams to the side of his jaw, sending him to the ground in a tumble of fur and loose earth. His opponents take the opportunity to leap onto him, one pinning his legs, the other an arm. The two look to the third, who is approaching from the place where he was thrown but a moment ago. From the power of muscle, I let the lone warrior check to see if I'm still watching him, and once he confirms it, he lets out a tremendous roar. With his free paw, he grabs hold of the mane of the wolf on his arm and whips him off, drawing a yelp from the smaller wolf. Untethered, he wraps his strength around the last wolf and pulls him over his head. I wince at the impact of the wolf's face against the ground, but it's not over for him yet. The lone wolf doesn't let go there. Instead, he drags the flailing body of his opponent through the sand, only to throw him full force to the third wolf, who is only just arriving. All three of them lay on the ground, heaving heavy breaths. The victorious strong wolf takes time to help them all up and ensure that they're okay, all the while stealing glances towards me. Various wolves and men circle him in congratulations and praise, and while part of me wants to linger, the stronger part of me remembers that I should lay low for a while before tonight's ceremony. The attention of that warrior is hardly relaxing. I hop down from the rock I was perched upon and start down the trail back towards my camp and a hopefully still resting animal. I let my mind fantasize about the strength of that wolf for a few moments, wondering if I'll attain such ferocity. The thought fills me with a budding joy. The realization begins to dawn that I'm here, at long last, within the Carthros. A long sigh escapes me as I run my fingers through my hair. The trepidation I'd amassed on the road, the doubt, the dread on animals' behalf, it all sets away from me with each step I take and with each minute bringing me closer to the moonrise. My pace slows to a halt as I realize something, a sensation I've never felt. My scar is warm, not of the magics of animals warming stone, not of the heat of the sun or the axis of my body. This is a warmth from within, feeble yet steady. Laughter builds within me, and having not noticed it sooner, ever since stepping foot in the wind, the warmth that the barrier graced me with has only grown more stable. The warming stone rests in my palm as I unwind the blood-tinted cloth, my scar no colder without it. I bring it to rest in my pocket with a smile. I run my hand up and down the length of my scar, an action would normally leave my skin stinging with a biting silver. No pain, no physical. Incredible. And what if I push? A torrent of energy surges through me, just as it did earlier by the side of that distant stream. Only this time it lasts just a moment and without nearly as much pain. A dreadful curiosity moves through my mind as I linger my fingers up against the same place I just parted. Fuck. The woods around me splinter into an almost phantom-like apparition of their noble forms, as if I'm seeing their reflections dancing on troubled water, illuminated by moonlight. I find myself in an unnervingly familiar place where I never hoped to return to. From the shifting trees I feel a presence creeping toward me from all directions like fog rolling through a saddled forest, echoes shifting somewhere out there in the fog, somewhere suffocatingly close yet vastly different. And then a light, blinding, familiar. It's her. As she descends towards me, ribbons of light flow from her ephemeral limbs and bend around her outstretched hand. Fleeting moments stretch into eternity, each one drawing me closer to her touch. Something within me pulls at my heart, yearning for her grasp. No sword. As I reach for the woman of light, a fragile voice steals within the depths of my mind. Barely a whisper, it brings with it a welling of hesitation, and before I can grasp her touch, I recoil. This voice, I've heard it before, woven into the fabric of my being, lingering like a half-remembered dream. Hi, are you alright? Her fingers hover inches from my face, and as it echoes in the abyss swell into a rolling thunder, every fragment of my being trembles in awe. Easy there, lad. I got you now. Suddenly, the ground falls out from under me, and I fell for solid ground as the vision begins to fade. Stop your scrubbing. As my senses come to, I feel as though I'm draped atop a number of rocks, only they're soft and warm. My eyes finally open onto the warrior from the clearing, carrying me like a hull of chopped firewood. I'm disoriented and try to still free him. Stop it. You're alright now. Just relax. His thick accent draws my attention away from the confusing circumstance. For a brief moment, it strains to my ears, yet also distantly familiar. What are you doing? My head pounds with pain as the light of the setting sun overwhelms me. Well, I'm carrying you over to a place where you can rest. You scared the right shit out of us. I look around to find the entire clearing staring at the two of us as he carries me deeper into the training grounds. Soon enough, we're surrounded by men with concern and curiosity painted on their faces. He's alright. I got him. Give us some space, lads. The warriors' commands are respected in the wolves, and men slowly get back to their training. You don't have to carry me. Really, I'm fine. No sense in sitting here. No sense in sitting you down now. We're nearly there. I sigh internally. This is almost worse than animals doting when I fall ill. It doesn't last for much longer as we arrive at a quiet corner of the clearing, farther away from the sharp sound of the smells. He kneels and sets me down in soft grass that hugs the base of a formation of rocks. His eyes scan me carefully as he lifts my arm and praises what he can. Are you truly alright? Those screams weren't for nothing. I am, or I will be. If you say so. I got a healer friend who's very good. I can go fetch him if you like. The subtle purple shades of his eyes remind me of wilting lupine flowers, gentle yet charged. It's nice to see them up close. You're fighting me. For one moment, we're staring glances, and the next, you're toppled over. Yeah, it's been a long day. I might have pushed myself a bit too hard. I saw you earlier. You're quite the warrior. The way you took down those wolves were impressive. I do what I can to break the conversation away from my attack. I'm reeling from waves of pain through my head, and I'm hardly in the mood to explain it. Oh well, I had something to prove. What with a beautiful man staring at me the whole fight. That catches me off guard. I'm flattered by his kind words, knowing full well that I look like shit, deceitful as I am. I think it was you who was stealing first, no? Aye, maybe so. The wolf lets out a rasp, chuckle, and looks at me through a concerned brow. Seeing you, Watson, still be alive again, I feel I may have hurt a few of my brothers in bed to keep those eyes of yours on me. And why would you do that? I'll play along for now. Though he towers above me, even crouched low as he is, I feel at ease with his light advances. He strikes me as a naturally flirtatious man. You're perhaps the bravest moon cold I've ever seen, standing at spear point for your brother as he did. Never in all my days in the wind have I ever such wild courage. Have I ever seen such wild courage? Never in all my days in the wind have I ever seen such wild courage, especially at the feet of a moon woven. Oh, you saw that? You're kidding? You don't remember me. Should I? I scanned my memory of the day, but with pain pulsing from within in my head, I can't place his face. I'm sorry, I can't say that I do. The wolf feigns as if he's been stabbed, tossing his head and leaning back onto his jaws behind him, onto his paws behind him. You want to be, Velper, like blades in my heart. I'll help you through the crowd earlier before you stand against the high sage, though something tells me you would have done just fine without me. Strong lad that you are. He grasped my arm firmly, and I catch myself flexing slightly under his touch, as if I have something to be proud of amidst the mountain of home muscle before me. I remember now, you came at the perfect time. Thank you for that. I was happy to help. A rare sight to witness that kind of bravery these days, especially from fresh pups. You might just make a fine horse warrior one day. Not me, I've never fought a man before. I would likely be killed before I could even leave a mark. I love it then. I took you for a fighter after your display earlier. I'm really not. Nonsense. All you need is a god or Dringer, someone to teach you. Good thing you have me. I laugh lightly at his cocky playfulness, though his words aren't empty. After his display in combat, I imagine he's likely one of Hearst's strongest warriors. What, you want to teach me to fight? Aye, and it would do you well, especially if you're keen on picking outnumbered fights with wolves twice your size. You've got a point there, though I should leave that training to my Hearst tribute, no? I'm reminded of the moon cult structure, one wolf per tribe other than your own people's to be offered as tribute for the bestowal. Why? Not good enough for you, am I? Is that it? His playful expressions forces me to smile. He's goading me with his eyes and wagging tail. Care to put me to the test sometime later? When you're not on your ass, or are you all bark and no bite? Without thinking, I throw a fast punch at his shoulder with a smile, and catches the dark wolf off guard, causing his tail to dart up. There he is. The Velper has fangs after all, again. He snaps at his shoulder while presenting it to me, and I lean myself forward, coming to rest on my knees. I wetted my fist in. The wolf snakes his forearm into the inside of mine, and in a flash deflects my strike away from him with ease. Oh, this bastard. He sits there so smitten with himself, I can't help but throw another punch, this time followed up by a rapid jab with my other tightly held fist. Again he deflects the first and catches the second in his paw, amazing me with his reflexes. You little fucker. You like playing dirty, eh? I lunge at the wolf in a burst, grabbing hold of his shoulders in an attempt to throw his balance. It's just like hitting a boulder when that quickly wraps his arms around me in a tight hold. Aye, but you're no match for me. Not yet, at least. The two of us bellow with laughter as I weave in his grasp in the effort to free myself falls as there's nothing I can do to break his hold. In the act of desperation, I root my foot into the earth and push hard, causing us to topple over. Oi. His arms finally open as we tip backwards, but it's too late. The momentum pulls me down onto his bare chest. Oh, fuck. My head splits and crackles. I push myself off of the wolf with one hand and clutch my head with the other. Shit, are you alright there? Starlight whirls around him as my head settles, ease with a eased by the warmth of my new wrestling partner's paw cupping my neck. Yeah, I'm fine. Pushed a little too hard again. That was stupid of me. His playful flirtation swept me along, drawing my attention off of my pain. That's on me then. I shouldn't have provoked you into that. I haven't had a good wrestle like that in ages. Says the wolf who just threw down 3 others not but a few minutes ago. He walks lightly into my neck, which makes me realize just how much tension I've been holding there. It feels really good. But they don't know how to play like you do. I close my eyes and let his fingers work for a moment before I hear him purr a chuckle. Here, turn yourself around. The suggestion is met with a confused look from me that causes this light rubbing to halt. I'm no healer myself, but I might be able to relieve some of your tension. I'm good with my hands. A hardened warrior like you, with a delicate touch, I think you'd sooner break me in two. His thumping resumes in broad strokes across the length of my neck. Come now, I've learned from the best. It's one of the greatest perks of belonging to a warband. After all, the nightly rub downs give you plenty of practice. He says this with enough emphasis to allude to more than what his words alone convey. Is that so? I don't think that kind of treatment would be wise for me right now. Regardless of it, I want it or not. Just a rub down. Wouldn't dream of anything more. You said it yourself. It's been a long day. Let me take some of that from you. The warrior's eyes are pleading, but not aggressive. I can tell he truly just wants to help. I might just be gentle. I pat my scar and receive a solemn nod from the wolf before I turn my back to him. Wordlessly, he sinks both of his broad thumbs into the base of my neck. Despite the depth of his pressure, I feel no sharpness from his claws, a testament to his skill in the art. Moving in tighter circles, he makes his way up and down my neck before spilling his touch over my shoulders. The tension melts out of me under his paw. He wanders lower on my back, laying into the thick past my tight muscle, and let out a few sighs as I enjoy this unexpected turn of events. So you are well trained. You've seen nothing yet. My head feels incredibly heavy in the wake of the wolf's hands on my neck. What I would give to lay down, would it not disrupt this rare experience? A thought crosses my mind, a tempting thought. It's 2 months. I need to lay back, and the bulk of the wolf is far too tempting to not sink into. I start slowly, leaning into his hands and allowing them to adjust my movements. He catches on and guides me down onto him. For a moment, I'm dragged backwards as he comes to lean himself against a nearby rock. That's it. His paws now rest on my chest as he kneels through my muscle and fur. I can feel the tension leave me like rain slipping off of smooth stones, allowing my breath to grow all the deeper. You're very tight. I take it you've traveled far to arrive here. 2 weeks. 2 weeks without the warmth of a bed, without the touch of a healer, without the touch of yourself, I see. My eyes open to fall upon my thing standing tall from under my clothes, steered by the intimacy of the moment. Shit, apologies. It's been some time. You apologize a lot. No need for that among brothers. Let yourself go, Vipper. That word, what does it mean? His paws slide down my touch, causing it to quiver in satisfaction to his strong muzzle. hangs over my head before it dips down and hovers close to my ear. Puppy. The hot breath pouring into my ear makes my whole body shiver, sending a spark of lightning through every inch of me and causing my hips to buck slightly as his rough fingers reach my lower belly. At once I feel possessed by the heat that I felt in the sighing stones earlier. Lust rolls through my veins and engulfs the racing of my mind that screams at me for the oddity of the situation. A distinct pressure grows in the middle of my back. It seems my warrior is also aroused and is building quickly. His claws play at the tip of my pants underneath the coarse fur of my loincloth. He plays with my hair there for a moment before slipping his fingers underneath. This all right for you? With a heavy breath, I nod, encouraging him to continue in his exploration of my body. Just as he begins to push through the thick hair at the base of my thing, we're interrupted by a startling sound. A loud howl cascades through the clearing with a force that catches us both off guard. It rapidly builds, gathering more and more voices until the forest sings with a harmonious and haunting cry. The wolves of the training grounds and joins into the chorus with their loud bellows, bringing the power of the howl right over the two of us in our quiet corner like thunder crackling overhead. The star wolves pause, retreat from under my clothing quickly, coming to lift me slightly off of his body. Even then, I feel husk start to build in his chest, his instincts taking over. With the power that vibrates through my bones, the wolf lets out a warrior's howl. The resonance of it leaves me in a sense of awe. I gaze up at him, and the power of that pours from his being as he gives all that he has into his howl. A longing still within me, an impatience, a desire to tilt my own head back and to join him as a wolf myself. My heart is aroused at the sheer beauty and magnitude of the music and of its meaning. It's time. At the end of his howl, he pulls me back down onto him, the two of us smiling wildly with excitement. Oh yeah, and then to that massage, maybe after we next wrestle. Maybe if you win. Then let's do it happen. Hi, Veolf. I may not be a fighter, but I reckon I could take you. Tell me, what's the Herser word for mutt? Aston men. I repeated back to him. The words feel strange in my mouth, my tongue not able to form the sounds as succinctly as his. I'll remember that. Good, let's go then. He pushes me up and the two of us eventually fall in line with the trickle of wolves hastily leaving the training grounds. We take the rear of a small group of Hersa warriors making their way into the larger streams of wolves and men, winding down the pathways towards the sanctum of the fallen. The celebratory chatter of the crowd dwarfs an attempt from the storm wolf to say something to me. What was that? The two of us fall back a few paces, allowing us to hear each other again. Oh, you're free later tonight. That eager to get your paws on me again? I'd be lying if I said no, but maybe we could talk some more as well. You could tell me about your travels. How about it? With that, I had the energy. I'm remitting my tributes tonight, as much as I love to speak more, I'll likely need to speak with them. And after all that, there's only one place I want to be: in bed. His eyebrows lift with a tilt of his head. Alone, huh? Right. your tributes. Well, if you find yourself interested in another sparring match, you know where to find me. Though next time, you got to earn your massage. And what if I win? Is that obvious? It'll be your turn to put into work. Huh. Very good, Heifer. He passed the top of my head with that side smile of his before leaning in towards my ear. I've got something to do before the ceremony starts proper. I'll be seeing you soon. Alright, I'll see you then. He breaks off with a hop down a different trail, flipping around one final time to wave his goodbyes. Quite the man. His confidence is infectious. Shit. Realization strikes me that I never asked for his name. A glance backwards proves instantly fruitless. He's long gone into the shadows of the early night. At least I know where to find him. I'll do what I can to let him fall from my mind. I need to focus if I'm to be ready for tonight's ritual. I had almost no time to process my earlier attack, so I pondered the nature of it briefly, how I seemingly induced it myself, but no. Now is the time to draw on it. Tonight I offer myself to the wolves, the Carthros, and claim my tributes. Andurum has prepared me well for this night, and I'm ready. At last we spill into the sanctum. Hundreds of wolves and men of all colors and clans settle into the rock formations around the tree line. Many coming to sit on the earth, forming a great circle of life within the perimeter of the great spirit's runestones. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip the part where there's the ceremony. You can go see this through Noakai. Well, yeah, you can watch this through Noakai, and then there's another video after that where you see the rest of it. So you can watch that video. But I'm not going to repeat this for either. I can't forget their names already. Maybe I'm not gonna repeat this for the other two wolves. If you want to see this ceremony, you can look up for Narakai. So don't go ahead and jump to after the ceremony, where we pick which wolf to go with, or to talk to anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pick Veolf. Right then, Veolf. Look out toward the gathering tables where Talwyn and I might find him. Instantly, I met with a chill in my chest at the sight of the tightly packed seats of Hogan gray and black wolves. Their merry cheers and shouts blended together with one or two heated confrontation and clashing chalices fills the night air. Intimidation washes over me as I take meager steps towards the boisterous hearser, some of which take my notice as I draw closer. Just as I near their long tables, a mass of bulk and fur collides into me. A cold splash coats my arm, and the scent hits me instantly. Med. I stagger, trying to regain my balance as I look up to my interceptor, a towering storm wolf. He takes a few looks around at eye level before finally glancing down at me. Fucking white, brother. Didn't I see you down there? The strength of his accent, even thicker than Veil's, washes over me with the same force that his breath does, a blend of what smells like spiced meat, strong meat, and the inside of a hound's mouth. I recognized this wolf from when I first arrived. Ovar, the wolf Kirik was licking over. Despite being surrounded by a sea of naked wolves throughout the day and spending plenty of time beside Talon, somehow this wolf's seed casually bursting from his loose, small clothes feels like the most promiscuous thing I've seen in the wind. Got you a bit there. Yeah. Let's me get that for you. He slams down the drinks on the table nearby and takes me in his paw, stretching my arm out and lowering himself down. He drags his tongue along the beads of mid clinging to my fur. Tastes all the better. Boy, I know you. You're the lad with the leaking spear. Let me have a taste of that as well. The hearse around us take to laughter as their eyes trace over me. Ovar places his paws on my shoulders, drawing me closer to him. You looked right full. We could help you let some out. Just I'm about to speak, though the waves of mid-soaked breath, a flash of a paw grips the oaths, whips and thrusts it off of me. Veolf stands behind me with a low growl, rumbling from within the cage of his bare fangs. The two stand firm on either side of me, each reverberating their growls. The merriment of the tables continues uninterrupted. Some wolves even shout encouragement at the spectacle. Veolf's hold on Ovar's wrist tightens as the two lock eyes. I can feel the tension in their muscles building until suddenly Ovar's ears drop as his tail tucks. What happens next surprises me. Ovar brings his head low and sheepishly licks at Veolf's lips. I watch as my tribute releases him and allows this display of submission. You do well to mind yourself, Earth. That fucker fall. Was only having a bit of fun with the lad. The two finally come to ease again. I watch as each of them is taken by a smile. Go on then, you big luck. Get yourself another. Veolf offers a brotherly fist into the meat of Ovar's chest, ending their confrontation with the air of a lasting friendship. Veolf playfully bops the top out of Ovar's seat before the brute yields to collect his drinks again. Sorry about him. Ovar's a bit of an ass. He's a good man at heart, though. It's fine. He reminds me of a brother of my own. I'm glad you've come to see me. At first, I'm honored. You were watching me? Of course I was. Hard not to. Would you like some? Veolf gestures over to a couple of empty seats at one nearby tables, each with their own cup filled to the brim with a honey-colored mid. I love that. Something to drink sounds nice right now. I thought you might do well with a bit of drink at the end of your long day, something to wash it all down. You put on quite the show. Faster the lots, then at the right. Impressive. With a gentle paw at my back, I'm led over to my seat just as I take it. Ovar plops himself down across from us, eyeing his reclaimed liquor with glee. Veolf takes his seat next to me, scooting in close on the bench. He leans forward and looks between me and the med with eager anticipation. Well, go on then. Give her a taste. With the stretch of his tail behind us, I take the cup in my hands. It's comically large and clearly carved from wood touched. Skull. I do my best to mimic the pronunciation that Anabum taught me long ago. For many suns now, we've used it to start our meals. Skull. The wolves around us mirror my call, clasping mugs together, celebrating every drop that lands on their tongue or on the table. Veolf hastily sweeps his cup to strike it against mine. Ha! Looky here. The mid flows across my tongue with ease, bringing floral notes that dance with warm spice and a distant echo of honey. It's rather dry compared to the mid I've tasted before, but the make is exquisite. I explore the taste with each gulp, letting the tingling sensation spread into the back of my throat as more flavors are brought through my nose. Before I know it, I've drunk almost half of the cup. Your lad's got a mouth on him. Aye. He likes it. Orv and I brewed this batch ourselves. You honor us. It's delicious, a floral taste. I can't place it. A blend of wild rosemary, elderflower, and yarrow. All plucked from the rolling expanse of the fields of Fenris's door. Well done, then. It's a beautiful blend. Drink up. We can always fill your cup again. Alright, a pretty mouth like that. We can feel it for you, alright. Look like you were eager for it out there at the right. I think the mid will do for now. At least I know it's good. Orvar scoffs, slamming his cup down on the table with a thud before staggering to a stand. Why don't you come over here and say that in my ear? I've got plenty of room on my lap. I'll slip it in real slow for you. The wolf spreads the whole of his teeth apart with his thumb and what's left of his index finger, allowing the tip of his thing to rise from within it. Veolf growls and readies himself to rise. Before he can, I place my hand on his forearm, feeling able to handle over myself. I'm fairly comfortable where I am now, with a table between you and me. Ha! So the pup's got some bark, aye? He looks at my hand, still resting on Veolf's arm. What, only eager for the black blaze thing? I'll show you what a real wolf feels like. Talon's advance returns to me. I know if I'm to earn my place at this table, I'll need to play their game. With respect, brother, you look like the kind of wolf whose thing smells just as rank as his breath. Now kindly fuck off, aye? I extend my cup towards Orvar, letting my tone convey that while playful, I mean my words. In response, he stands with a force that spills his mid across the table. The fuck you just say? I'm startled by the roar of his words, as are the many wolves seated beside us. Veolf sighs and picks up the tip cup, setting it right with care. Yes, sit your ass back down, Orv. We all know your breath reeks of sight. Just be glad someone here has more tolerance for you than I. There's a moment of tension as the two lock eyes. It doesn't last long, though, for a big bellowing laughter erupts from Orvar before he plops backwards onto the bench, sending the others down the line walking backwards. Suddenly, Orvar takes up one of his spare cups and brings it to crash against mine. Just how much can this wolf drink? Ha! Your vipers got bite after all. Landing yourself a good one this fall, brother, like it said. Veolf drapes his thick arm around the bridge of my shoulders, the weight of which pushes me down a bit. Aye, I'm thinking the same. He pulls me in closer to him, further into the scent of sweat, warm spice, and the mid of his breath. I see you've been talking about me. I wouldn't shut the fuck up about his little Veolf since you knocked him on his ass in the grounds. Veolf smirks as he sips his mid. Tall tells the developer and his asset men, aye? The wolves around us halt their conversations, which makes Veolf, Veolf's abrupt laugh into a choke of his mid on the more obvious. Asset men. Fucking hells, Veolf. You work fast. I glance around and confuse him before it dawns on me. This bastard. I pound my fist into the thick muscle of his shoulder and let out a deep sigh. What does asset men actually mean? Veolf mumbles out something below his breath. I can't catch it over the chuckling of the hearser around us. Instead, I turn to Ove with an expectant look. You're calling him your lover boy. Looks like we know who's stealing you. Quit to choose. Seems I would lie to then. Say, Ove, if I wanted to tell this mutt what I think he is, what's her Syrian word would I use? Under. No more than a hound, ha. You have my thanks. I meet his playful eyes hiding behind his tankard. We'll settle this later. Sometime alone sound alright to you? Could find ourselves acquired at the table. Elizabeth Wolf, who now towers above me as he stands, his tail swaying happily as he waits for my reply. Yeah, I like that. You'll have to lead the way. Right. Well, that's rough. Veolf leans in and points his claw closer over our snout. Behave yourselves, remember. First light in the grounds. The hearser rolls around us strike their balled fists to their chests and resound in a synchronized general. I rise to stand, taking one last mouthful of the floral mid. Been an honor to drink for you, boys. I'll be seeing you around, I'm sure. That you will, pup. Go easy on him tonight. He's an ass if he doesn't get his sleep. You have my word, Orv. Go easy on yourself there, pal. The drunk wolf's eyes are nearly closed as he buries his muzzle in what's left of his mid. Veolf leads me down the narrow path in between the long tables into the woodline where fewer wolves and men are seated. The darkness is illuminated by the warm glow of torches scattered about. He extends his arm out to an empty table, gesturing to me to take a seat. As I do, Veolf sits beside me with his back to the table. This'll do nicely. He reaches over and runs his claws through my hair a few times, drawing a light laugh from me as the rough pads of his fingers graze my forehead. I'm glad you came. Sorry about the lads. This is how we play. Hope you're not offended. I appreciate the concern, but I can play rough as well. Thought you have learned that by now? Ha! I spread it no less after our tussle. No surprise your tongue is just as strong. You held your own there. Veolf stares into my eyes, allowing the gentle chatter of a few nearby wolves to blend with the sounds of the night-veiled forest as they come alive. I finally got you to myself, Soren. I've been looking forward to this night for some time now. Have you? How long have you known you and I would be bonded? Since the last half moon or so. I know much about you, which is hardly fair. While I'm caught in my disadvantage for a few moments, I find my own curiosities easily enough. Well, let's even the playing field then. Time for you to talk. I'm yours for as long as you wait. I'm yours for as long as you want tonight? Ask away. Tell me then, Velper, what were you expecting? To be honest, someone more cold. I assume the war would have hardened the hearts of most who fought it, deemed, especially one deemed the scourge of the West. Yet, you and your men are so full of life, of laughter. Aye, though you're not all wrong, for some the war takes much more. The war takes months and more. For the rest of us, it's because our battles that we laugh and seek.
Against white people when
I'll have you know, I didn't choose the title. Go on then. Tell me then, Velper, what were you expecting? To be honest, someone more cold. I assume the war would have hardened the hearts of most who fought it, especially ones deemed the scourge of the West. Yet you and your men are so full of pride, of laughter. Aye, though, you're not all wrong. For some, the war takes much more. For the rest of us, it's because of our battles that we laugh and seek out what joys we can. How I see it, titles and accolades are no more than scars in your name. No more earned than those on your flesh. They're just proof that you survived long enough to get them. Do I disappoint you? You've got a thing for the battle-hardened roots, have you? You don't disappoint at all. I'm enjoying how you feel. It's a pleasant surprise. Honey words, Velper, but I noticed you didn't deny it. If you like your men rough and rugged, I'd be happy to play the part. I'd rather get to know you as you are. Veolf grins rather sheepishly to my surprise. Are you used to playing parts? I think I may have meant the general at the right. You have a good eye on you. I have my duties to my people, my responsibilities to my men. For as Hersa, we play the parts we've given. It's our duty. It's not up to me to choose who I am. Moon falls, or a time to let some things fade. I'm still a general, still a tribute for my people, but being so far from battles, from the blood and rain, it does me good. Something tells me you might know a thing or two about playing parts yourself. What makes you say that? His eyes trace a scar along my side. They say you've been touched by a demon himself, that you're blessed and destined for great things. What do you say to that? Arthur mentioned something similar. Truthfully, I don't hold any of it close. I don't know if that's what I want. My aim is set on the bestowal alone. Anything after it rests in a demon's hands. As for if I'm blessed or destined, I don't care either way. I just want to answer his call. You're a brave lad, then. What would you do if you became something you didn't want to be? I hope that fate wouldn't lead me somewhere my heart doesn't want to go, but if it did, maybe I'd try to become something else, follow whatever calling I feel. I really don't know. Well, if you, does your heart belong to your fate? That's a difficult question to answer. I don't know either. Maybe we can find out together. Aye, that they are. Every last one of them is a brother to me. It's my duty to them to keep them trained and ready, even while we're here in the wind. Training at first light, I hear. That would be hard for me, huh? Of every day. It keeps us sharp, keeps us honed. So anything happen to Herser here on the first and last line of defense. You're a bit of a night wolf. Aye, looks like we're gonna have some fun in our training together. I really am. There's something special about the dark or night. Please tell me you don't intend to train me before the sun rises. Before the sun rises. I might be beyond saving at this point. Nonsense. A quick jump and a deep one will wake you right up. Funny you say that. I just took a swim with Wython not long ago. Ha, that lad is always in the water. Couldn't say no to those soft eyes of his. Aye. Today has been one long string of adventures. Who was I to say no to one more? And did you enjoy it? Oh, it was cold as fuck, but yeah, it was fun. Imagine having thick fur would have made the experience a lot more enjoyable. Ha, maybe at first, but the air is bitter. You've got to one to keep your blood warm, or in Wython's case, he's got to keep sweating. With the rain back home like it is, Herser are used to being wet. I'm warmer in the lake than on the fields. You your men are stronger than I. Now, I'll be feeling guilty when I'm still wrapped in my furs in the late evening. I have to say, though, I imagine having thick fur would have made the experience a lot more enjoyable. Ha, maybe at first, but the air is bitter. You've got to one to keep your blood warm, or in Wython's case, he's got to keep swimming. With the rain back home like it is, Herser are used to being wet. I'm warmer in the lake than on the fields. You and your men are stronger than I. Now I'll be feeling guilty when I'm still wrapped in my furs in the late morning. You say it every day. You never get to sleep in? Well, we can, while in the wind, but that choice is mine to make, and it's a real call. You work your men that hard? Is there no benefit to relaxing and enjoying life for a while? If you're questioning our morale, we take pleasure in our training. It's a constant in our lives, and there's nothing else you're thankful for when you're waist deep in blood and muck. If there's not else but practice instinct driving your blade. Our time spent training affords us our time spent otherwise, and I'll gladly ensure that my men set those hours of earned joy. I instantly feel naive in the face of his reality. I struggle to wake up before midday sun and to manage my ailment while he's responsible for every life under his command. There must be a lot of pressure on you. I can understand why you work them, so. Do you? You have a responsibility to your men as your brother and as your general. You want to keep them as strong as they can be so they might see another day. I'm glad you can see that so easily. Many a moon cult struggle to understand our ways. You have the heart of a seer. You want us to keep your people safe? I'm no seer, but that I can easily understand. How many of your men are here in the wind with you? 20 in total. You saw most of them tonight. I have 8 men taking the lead of stations at the most accessible entrances into the wind. Most men spend their 3 nights on post for rotating out. I see. Do you take time on the halo and as well then? Like for your helper, I'm all yours. My duty as your tribute stands above that of my rank. Ovar is here to take on many of my duties, though I still lead our training and see that the men are where they need to be. The whites will see us together for some days. That much is guaranteed. What you do with the rest, whether you spend it with me or not, is up to you alone. Ha! See, I do remember. I was beginning to think you didn't take my notice. I didn't at first. There was a lot of happening in that moment. I only realized it when you stood down. Over. Thank you for your help earlier. Something tells me you would have done just fine without me. Strong lad that you are. He grasped my arm firmly, and I catch myself flexing slightly under his touch, as if I have something to be proud of amidst the mountain of honed muscle before me. I was happy to help. A rare sight to witness that kind of bravery these days, especially from fresh pups. You might just make a fine horse and warrior one day. Not me. I've never fought a man before. I would likely be killed before I could even leave a mark. I love her then. I took you for a fighter at the display with Veolf earlier, let alone your face off with the wow. I'm no fighter. Ah, nonsense. All you need is a garter, dringer, someone to teach you. Good thing I have you. Aye, exactly. I'll show you the ways of it. Say, do you like to wrestle? I love it, though it's been a long time since I have. What say you and I have a go of it? I hope you don't mean now. Can't say I don't like the thought of rolling around with you after I saw the white, but I know you're likely tired. It's getting late. We'll save it for another day. Sure, though, it hardly seems an even match. If you're a good pup, I'll sift back for you. Mailman, then. I'll take those odds. Accuse Velper. Well, Buddhist folk, I'm happy to tell you anything you're curious about. I haven't driven to the fields, are you? Aye, it's a harsh land that takes little pity on those ill-prepared to respect it. The fields themselves stretch on for as far as your eyes can see, with only sharp rock and scattered ruins to break up the plains. Does it truly rain as much as the stories make out? Not likely. It's wet, alright, but it's not endless. The plains have what we call Ver or Store. 2 seasons, wet and wetter. In reality, it's more of a dry wet than a cold wet. Either way, you better like the rain if you got your eyes on the hearse away. I do love the rain in the Southern Isles, but daily rain sounds oppressive. Yeah, it's not all that bad. There are seasons to each day. The rain comes in the morning and night, for the most part. It makes the comfort of a home and the embrace of a lover all the more warmer. Besides, it makes the comfort of home and the embrace of a lover all the warmer. I can't imagine a warm fire, a dry bed. Do you have someone back home, that is? Veolf's eyes soften as he looks into mine. Haven't met the right one yet. How about yourself? I saw you laughing away without Bowles yearling not long ago. Kirik, am I right? An affectionate title given to fresh moon-touched wolves who have yet to attend a moonfall after their own. These young wolves are too fresh to be offered as tributes to new moon-called men. Instead, they're given tasks and roles to fulfill in the happenings in the next moonfall. Yeah, so I already knew that Kirik is like a new moon touched. So, yeah, I already knew that earlier in the story. So apparently he's too young to be a tribute. Well, to be off himself like a tribute. To help people like Soren be wise up. That would be him, but no, Kirik and I will always be close. I might still play together, but I've given my heart to him once, and likely won't again. I hear you. I was gonna say, I've seen that lad in the lab of many wolves and men. I'm sure he's a good lay, but I'd be wary of giving him anything more as well. Sounds like Kirik. He's always been insatiable. Looks like you might be as well, if you display if the white has anything to say to it. You got me there. Come next rain, you're free to join me in my tent. I got plenty of dry furs. I could tell you more of Fenris' door. That's so. I might have to take you up on that offer. Please do. As a tribute, it's my responsibility to show you the ways of Owen and his Herser. What we stand for, what we do, and what we die for. Together, we will explore any latent potential for battle you might possess. We will uncover the limits of your body and what you're truly capable of. If you so promise, you may be given special training. I hesitate to respond, lost in my own concerns as I am. Don't worry there, Velper. Your matriarch informed us of your conditions. We know not to punish you in the same way we would with others. I'll take good care of you. He brushes his knuckles against my side, his fur tickling my skin as the warmth melds with the chill. I see. Wathan said as much as well. It seems everyone was warned of my limitations before I ever stepped foot in the ring. Just how much did they tell you? No more than Narkai was told, and likely Wathan now. as well. We know about your past, how you were saved, and about your health. Crucial information for us as as a tribute is our duty to you to see you safely to your dear Miss August. Though I see plain on your face that you have rather kept that to yourself. Alongside leaves me as I consider how I really feel. I'm torn. I would appreciate it getting to a why before my history, but I understand it as well. You got something to prove, yeah? I do, to myself most of all. Good. You'll do just fine then. You look like you take care of yourself anyhow. Can't get an ass like that from lying in bed. You'll have to show me how you train. You got the nicer ass out of the two of us, but I could show you some things. Know any good walks to climb down here? Heh. You've been looking at my ass then. I know a few good walks. We'll play on it then. You're cute when you're thinking. A man of many questions. You can thank the Bowls for that. Well now, that your curiosity is sated, what say you answer a question of mine? Only that much. I wanted to ask you, was it a hard choice for you to make to come to the wind while knowing the risk? Veolf's voice is direct, his eyes train on mine. My mind rises immediately when I answer, but I take a moment nonetheless. Ultimately, no. I knew the night I was called that I would answer, though doubts would come eventually as I do. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't afraid. I can't know if my body will endure the bestowal, but I know that if I were sitting in my bed in the Bowls tonight, I would be drowning in regret. Yeah. So you're willing to risk everything you have for what you know you truly want. If you lose everything good you already have. I look up to the stars gleaming above our heads, an endless expanse that I would never dream of understanding. Even so, Veolf joins me in stargazing, the sweet silence allowing the creatures of the night to sing. You have my admiration for that. You'll make a great moon tuts, and I'm honored to have your tribute. The honor's mine, Black Blade. He lets out a long groan, let his head fall back playfully. Don't you start with that. I won't have it. I know it's getting late and you're probably ready to bed down, but would you want to come with me or a quick chore? A long yawn escapes me at the thought of a late night chore, but I'm enjoying my time with him. Chores this late, the unseen toils of a Hersa general, I could give you a hand. Great, I was hoping you'd say so. I think you'll like what we're to do. What might that be? No sense in spoiling the fun. Follow me. Veolf leads me out to the Veolf leads me out of the med hall. The sounds of wolves and music yield more and more to the ambience of the Carthros, the fluttering of wings, the creaking of branches in the breeze. As we walk, Veolf has more questions for me. The kind you would expect in the dawning of a new friendship. He asked of my travels with Anawam, of the white bows, and of my scar. As he alluded to earlier, he knows some of my story already, but I'm happy to share more with him now. I'm able to chat with ease as the light of his moon illuminates the forest with a pale silver glow. I tell him of how Anawam's snoring deprives me of sleep, of my favorite climbing spots in the bows, and of the beauty I witnessed on my journey to the wind. With all what I've seen of Anawam's size behind us, I heads on to where we might be headed. If my lay on the land is correct, we're on our way towards the training grounds I had considered exploring after my nap. So, Veolf, what's this chore of yours? And why so late at night? Is this fun of yours ill? In a way, but you and I are going to make sure that doesn't last. But you know what a black swing is. Do you know what a black swing is, Soren? The few Herser stories I've been told flash through my mind. The great war mounts of the storm wolves, birds as black as the new moon. Only today did I learn from Kira that they'd be here in the wind. Your war mounts? We're going to see them? Huh, look here, excited. Just then I hear their presence, soft cawing, perhaps the mumblings of an animal deep in some fantastic dream. A few things first. Bow your head when he approaches and let him come to you. After he takes your measure, I'll let you know when it's good to rise. Understood. My heart drums with excitement as we step into the center of the training grounds. With a boyish smile, Veolf points to the massive rock arch that seals a clearing for the night sky. A great many crags line its side, and from within them I catch the smallest signs of movement, the scene of feathers, the swaying of a tail. Veolf extends his arms out before me, a sign for me to wait where I am. I watch as he takes a few steps forward before bringing his hand close to his mouth, releasing a whistle that likely reaches every ear in the wind. The crags reverberate his call, as do the creatures that lurk within, calls far deeper than any I've ever heard before lay over one another like the sound of raindrops on water. I hold my breath, waiting for the creature to reveal itself. Lazy bastard is probably fast asleep. Another piercing whistle, this time much louder. Now a few seconds later, a dark silhouette shoots into the web of stars like an arrow fired from a bow. In the light of the moon, I witness it spiraling as it ascends. In a flash of the length of its wings unfold, blocking out the stars. As they beat with the force of a storm, it gains speed and swoops down low between the walls of the crag from where it originated. Mirroring the grace of a swan, it peaks its dive just in front of Veolf, beating its wings to slow its speed, sending gales of loose sand past us. It was a so-off, wonder where he gets it. I'm paralyzed in the saddle of the creature before me. He's terrifyingly magnificent, eclipsing the naivety of my childhood imaginations of black swings. A tremble quakes through my bones as he looks to me. He stands on four strong legs, each with a set of talons the size of my palms, two long blades just from the corners of his mandible. From one hangs a series of metal hoops, forming some kind of adornment. The size of his wings is breathtaking, though I suppose I should have foreseen it. They're charged with carrying Herser wolves into battle. After all, of course, they would be colossal. Veolf shoots me a wink over his shoulder before approaching the beast. The massive wolf is dwarfed by his steed as he gets in close, playfully roughing up the feathers on the black wing's cheeks. This is Val. The creature clicks his beak a few times at the sound of his name, sticking his head to even out his feathers once more. I owe him my life and more. He joins me in battle, aye? But he's much more than just a war mount. Val keenly looks me over, tilting his head at odd angles to get a better look. He's as much a part of me as I'm a part of him. He's my brother. Veolf guides Val's head down. Together their foreheads meet. You ready to say hi? Yes. Right then, take a few steps forward and lower your head. Like I said, I do as I'm told, coming to stand a few paces before Veolf. Just as I'm looking down, I see him step to the side and gesture towards me, giving Val the freedom to inspect. All I see is a saddle engulfing my own. All I hear are his footsteps towards me, mixed with the faint rustling of feathers as he looks me over. That's it. Keep calm and let him come to know you. I do as told, trying my hardest not to waver or move. I don't feel threatened, but I don't want to startle him either. What with his beak now inches away from my face. Suddenly, a sharp claw pierces the air, sending ice through my veins. The slope of his beak playfully bumps into the hollow of my armpit, making me stumble back a step. Huh. He likes it. Go on then. Give him a pet or two. Carefully, I stroked the long neck of the blackwing, marveling at the softness of his feathers, which gleam in the iridescence in the moonlight. When he seems calm, I reach up and place my hand on the tail of his beak. Hello there, Val. You two play nicely. I'll be back. Just have to grab his kid. Val looks at me with his pale gray eyes, each one containing the dark islands of his pupils, two in each eye. Before I know it, I feel Veolf's hand resting on my shoulder, letting me know he's returned. Nice to see my lad's getting along nicely. Here, you can help me tend to him. Veolf kneels low and opens a leather sack. I catch threads of spider silk and the breeze on it, likely from his time spent where Veolf stashed it. I peek over Veolf's shoulder to get a look inside. Golden seal, Echinacea, and cufflink. I look back at Veolf, this time searching his body over. Is he wounded? Huh. A druid in the making there, are we? Aye, he suffered a mighty slash 2 moons ago. I've been tending to it myself, but it reopened on our flight to the wind. I see. Did you gather these herbs yourself? They make a strong blend, perfect for open wounds. Not me, no. A dear friend supplied me with these, told me to make a nightly poultice for Veolf. Hence why we're here tonight. I reached into the open sack, pulling out a small bowl made of stone, along with a thinner stone rod, a crude mortar, and pestle, but it'll work just fine. As we spread out all the medicines, Val trots off to happily pluck at the various textures of the training grounds. 2 heads of the yellow one, 3 of the pink, ground and mixed with saliva. I'll be supplying that. Then a handful of the dry furry ones. Understood. I'll handle grinding the herbs you can prepare the comfrey, the dry furry one. We set to work preparing the ingredients for Val's poultice. It's easy work. Work I've done countless times back in the bowls, learned during my time under the medicine men of the white and silver bowls. I'm surprised you don't know the names of these. given how you lit up with listing off the flowers in your med. I extend the bow under Veolf's mouth, and I met with Playful surprise. With eyes half closed, he blows his mouth open, letting his tongue flap out. Bleh. A stream of his saliva runs into the fine powder. I'm both impressed and disturbed by how much is flowing from the wolf. Alright, that's more than enough. I haven't laughed like this in so long, longer than I remember. The past 5 months have been such a serious time in my life. I can't describe how much it feels to watch this fool of a wolf. I wonder if he feels the same, far from the battlefields, just happy to play around for a fleeting moment. As Veolf wipes his muzzle with the back of his paw, I grind the mixture until it forms a loose paste. All the while Val rests beside us, curled into a neat ball. We just need to confront now. I reach into the bag once again and fish out long strips of hempen cloth, selecting the cleanest looking piece. I move carefully towards Val. Where's the sound? Okay, where's the wound? Back, left foot. A dark wood got the better of us. I'm moving to inspect the wound, making sure that Val feels comfortable with me doing so. To my delight, he lifts his wing to reveal his hind legs. The cut looks mostly closed, were it not for the center of the wound, which is still freshly scabbed and slightly inflamed. It looks to be a minor infection. These herbs will certainly help. Aye, that's what Wython said as well. Gave me enough for a week and told me he'd check up on him again. Have I already? Aye. Here you are. Veolf joins me at Val's feet. I scoop out the comfrey from his paw, taking my time to carefully pluck the stray pieces from his fur, and then add them to the mixture, giving it a few turns until they're all coated in the paste. I've been doing it differently. How so? Just been sparkling some of the dried stuff on top of the wrap before wrapping it. I see, that will work fine as well, but this way the dried comfrey will soak in the moisture of the medicine, which helps to keep it wet against the wound. I reach into the bowl and scoop out most of the concoction. I take care to let Val know what's coming. With a quick glance and nod to him, gently I spread the blend over the wound. Do me a favor and spit into this here. I offer him the hemp while I make sure to gently push the medicine into the cracks of the scab. Veolf does as asked, and soon enough, I'm wrapping the wound. Why the extra spit? That will help keep the hemp from drawing too much liquid from the poultice. Like with the comfrey, we don't want it to dry out too quickly. Within a few moments, I have the poultice in place, tightly secured to the bird, who seems quite amused at us fussing around with his leg. Alright then, that'll do him good. Nicely done, sir. You did most of the work. I knew I was smart to bring you along. That's the best I've ever looked. It's nice to see you in your element here, Helper. That word, you've used it quite a lot. What does it mean? I see him lean close as he lowers his muzzle close to my ear. Puppy. I see him a defiant look from under my brow, though I can't help but smile as he gets a strong laugh out of my response. A term of endearment, I swear. Give me some time and I'll think of one for you. That's only fair. Val calmly watches us as we rise, his wings still held aloft. We should let him rest, and as much as this has been, I should be trying to get some sleep myself. It's been quite a day. I was about to suggest the same. I got training early. You deserve a solid rest. I'm gonna stay here for a night. Well, I'm gonna stay here for a while. Spend a bit of time with the old boy. Veolf pats at Val's side, and the bird coos happily as it trots off deeper into the grounds. Thank you for spending time with me tonight and for helping Val. I look forward to more of it with you, Sowen, as the moonfall goes on. I really enjoy getting the chance to meet you. Thank you for the men and for introducing me to Val here. He's just as handsome as you are. Boy, he's far better looking. Ain't that white boy? He didn't mean it. Val coos playfully from afar, leaving me to wonder how much he's feeling and what we were saying. Val's large paws fall on my shoulders as he pulls me close to him. After a few passes of his fingers through my hair again, he waffles it playfully. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, Sowen. Rest well tonight when you do. Good night, Veolf. You as well. Hope to see you again, Val. Go easy on that leg. A chirp of a farewell from Val and a smiling wave from Veolf sent me on my way. My walk back to the bustling mid-hall is filled with thoughts of the black blade in his war mount, and with how glad I am to know them now as Veolf and Val. All that's left is to turn in for the night. I let out a long sigh for being somewhat of a lone wolf myself. This evening has been just as exhausting as it was exciting. Wytham, Veolf, and Narokai, their words and energies play in my mind as I come to sit on the edge of adrenaline campfire. My legs feel just as heavy as my eyes do, and I look about the bustling mid-hall with a detached and distant gaze, all the while thinking of the wolves to whom I'm now bonded. The gentle softness of Wytham, the confident playfulness of Veolf, and the fierce challenge of Narokai, I can't help but smile foolishly to myself as I watch the embers crackle with that I could know whom I'll choose to see me. Visions of each of them locking their arms around me as I settle against their hips circulate behind my eyes. I dream of the slow and passionate strokes of Wytham, my legs wrapped around the strength of Veolf, and the sweet pain in Narakai's claws digging in as he claims me. The anticipation swells within me like a rising tide. It's only our first night beneath the same moon. Unsurprisingly, I'm hard again, only now I'm in no mood to flaunt it. After taking a few moments to collect myself as I wait for the blood to leave my thing, you know what? I make my way out of the med hall filled with the satisfaction of completing my first rite. The comforting sound of the waves lapping against the shore greets me as I finally make it to my isolated camp. Even so, distant hollers and faint echoes of music can still be heard emanating out from the dens and beyond. A quick scan reveals no sign of animal, which leaves me with a sickening disappointment. Perhaps it's for the best, a chance to let my strolling thoughts settle a bit. I make my way to the shoreline, just a few paces away from my inviting tent where I know I should be right now. Laying back on the sand, the web of stars shines in all of its brilliance, and at its jeweled center, the full moon, piercing radiant, and in this moment so distant, I met with a murky feeling of unease as I look upon it. I had imagined that from the moment, I had always imagined that from the moment I stepped foot in the Carthros. My connection to Deepening would vastly deepen as if merely standing upon the land where his body rests would render me worthy of more than just vague dreams. Yet even now, as I look to the Everwing, not far from where he drew his last earthly breath, I feel just as distant from him as I have all my life. The dangers of naive expectations, I suppose. Yeah, I can't help but long for him. Oh dear me, Chala Wakain, with a voice of dear me. I repeat Urik's words to the dark sky as memories of Animum's nightly prayers to the beast of frost cause me to wonder, does Animum long as well? Is that the fate of all moon-touched wolves, to yearn for the beast, to join with him in one fleeting moment, then be left in the fading memory of his glory? A cry reverberates in my heart. I hope that is not so, that I have much yet to learn, and that surely there is time enough to strengthen my bond with the weeping wolf. I'm reminded of Talibin's advice to me outside the Sign Stones, that nurturing my connection to Nightfire might help to strengthen my bond with a demon. Perhaps I'll heed the advice of the Oracle and give in to my longings at last. Gods know I've been pushed to the limit of my restraint today. Memories of my experience in the Sign Stones seep back into me. I can recall the swelling of the storm wolves, not in how the skin of the flames hole stretches around it, eagerly yielding to its size. My hand slips into my pants, my leaking head smearing across my palms like grass at the base of my thing. I hear the sounds there, wet flesh made when, at last, the knot pierced through in a burst the receiver's hole, tightening around the thin base behind the tie. My mind reels at the thought of what that must feel like, the stress and the anticipation and satisfaction of fullness, as the whole of the knot is finally swallowed, now more than ever before I long for those sensations. Undoing the ties that hold my clothes to me, I set them quickly. A burst of cold air against my warm and wet thing makes it twitch. A threat of, if you know what. I gotta go ahead and skip all this now. I know this wolf. Okay, and there's a scene I have to skip because it's basically him playing with himself. You know, masturbating and putting his hands up his hole. So yeah, I know this wolf. It's all right. So I'm gonna save right here. What? Let's see what else. Oh yeah. I gotta pick. For right now, I'm gonna go with Norkai. I mean, Animal was like the second person I wanted to do, but I'm gonna go with Norkai right now. There's only one wolf with this strong of a scent, and I sip at it eagerly as the vision of Norkai forms behind me. I can almost taste his musk on my lips for when I smelled him earlier, and it's all flooding back to me now. I find myself on my knees, my face pressed into the wet forest floor, held down by the weight of Norikai's paw. The sharp scent of his thing washes over me as his claws dig into the muscle and fat of my ass. He spreads me apart, allowing himself all of me. I told you to leave. Now take what you deserve. I imagine a burst of pleasure and pain as Norikai's thick shaft slams into me, the base of his thing stretching me with each thrust. Whipping like a pup, pathetic. Outside my mind, I guess I push forward my fingers deep within me in sync with a vision of. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. By the time I rise to clean myself, my stuff is okay. I've always longed to be fucked like that, and Norkai seems the kind of wolf who ravages those who are lucky enough to find themselves warming his knot. As I rinse myself clean, I can't help but remember the warmth of his teeth when I grasped it during the bite, though I'm quickly reminded of how little he wanted of me tonight. Patience will be a key with Norkai, but in the meantime, I wouldn't mind reliving that fantasy again. By the time I fully washed, I'm ready to sleep at last with my first ritual completed and my longing of the day finally fulfilled. All that's left is to let sleep finally claim me. As my body grows still, wrapped in my thick furs, I let my mind drift over the events of the day, the last day of my simple humanity and the beginning of something greater. I think back to the sight of Annabum this morning, the two of us still treading some unmarked path through the wilderness of Alawan Olar. I remember the joy of seeing Kirik's touch form for the first time and the relief I felt at things being okay between us again. I trace over my first moments in the wind the overwhelming beauty of it all. The sign stones, Talibans' lessons. Tired as I am, my heart sinks slightly at my failure to connect to the energies of the night fire tonight. Alas, the presence of the flesh proved too intoxicating this time. I think of Norakai and the ferocity that lurks behind the flames of his eyes. Will he come to trust me? I'm heartened to have shared those few quiet moments with him at the end of our time together. Tonight, at least, there's hope yet. Then, white and calm and gentle, I can't help but smile when I think back on how he interjected during the rite, that he feels so strongly is humbly. There is a safety to Ryathan, one that touches a quiet place in my heart. And of course, Veolf, the Black Blade. Veolf surprised me today. All my childhood imaginings painted the Herser as something harsher and more severe, yet the playfulness of Veolf is better than anything I have dreamed, and his confidence inspires my own. Rather than Animum, I can only hope that he's alright out there, wherever he chose to set up his camp. I can see it now, his tattered tent that I've patched almost a dozen times, his worn pack resting in the corner, his cloak wrapped tight to rest under his head. Part of me feels misty tonight. Seldom on the nights when Annabelle and I aren't resting under the same shelter, and flickering a sadness wells in my heart. Good night, Annabelle. Sleep well. In my mind traces the rest of what unfolded today. I'm reminded of Talon's words. You need only to open your heart, and listen for his call. Beautiful in its simplicity, one can become fertile soil, patiently waiting in its seed. As my body dwells farther and farther into the stillness of sleep, I soften my heart to a dear man calling out his name in my being. Wolf of wine, my blood is yours to bleed. Should you so wish it, my life is yours too. To be continued. Chapter 1, The Hear of the Hall, is dedicated in Reinhardt, Zakati, and Orgbound. Thank you greatly for offering your time and incredible talents to Moontouch. You truly made this project special. A special thanks to our play testers for all the time and effort they put into polishing everything up. Thank you to Virgil, Orgbound, Aaron Werewolf, Moon, Hobo Joe, and Choki. To the patron Wolfpack, thank you so much for your support. This project wouldn't be possible without it, and I'm more grateful than I'll ever be to say. Thank you truly. A proper credits screen is in the works for Chapter 2. If you would like to help support Moontouch, please click out the Patreon through the icon on the menu. Until next time. Ooh. Alright, so we're finally up to date with Moon Tuts. That was a very long update. Like, I forgot how many videos are done so far, but it's probably about 5 or 8, somewhere in that range. So this is a huge update. In chapter 2 probably is going to be like that too. So kind of would like it if they had a word count, so that way I could at least have some cues of how long the update would be. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk for long because it's a very long update, and Soren already gave his thoughts on the 3 characters. So Noakai, he is the most difficult one for Soren to gain trust with. You know, he's very hostile to anybody. He's like a lone wolf. He's by himself. So it was a big accomplishment trying to you know, reveal the more vulnerable and pleasant parts of Noakai. So that was a big accomplishment for Soren. He was able to crack through this solid exterior and see the soft stuff for Noakai. So in Wython, he's very calm and you know, just very calm and kind. I mean, he's not bruises like Noakai and Veolf. Not that I'm against that, but you know, I mean, he's very considerate. He's more like an intellectual than like a big physical guy. I mean, though he's still bigger than Soren, but you know, he's very knowledgeable in treating people and medicine and how to prepare it. And he taught Soren well enough that Soren was able to use what Wython taught him to treat the huge bird that Veolf has. You know, the bird that Veolf's people use, you know, when they go off to war and stuff like that, to fly them around and defend their land. So in Veolf, I guess you could say he's kind of like in the middle between Wython and Noakai. I mean, he has the brutish tendencies of Noakai and the brassness. However, he does have the kindness of Wython. So basically, he's kind of like Noakai. He's this big, muscular, brutish guy. He was very tough, but at the same time, you got the part of him that's like Wython, very kind and considerate, and you know, he's kind and cares for people's well-being, and he cares for someone's well-being. So yeah, so they're not. I mean, doing Soren's time with Veolf and the Hursa, he's learned that they're not quite as bad as what the books portray them. They're not these ruthless, violent warriors that the books claim them to be. That they're, you know, I mean, they're still fierce warriors, but they also like to have fun and enjoy each other's company too. They're not wizard all the time. I guess it's just that when they have to be. You know, they do train a lot, but you know, otherwise, other than when they go into battle, they're usually, you know, just playful and just kind of chill. but it certainly take their role seriously. They train a lot, and they're always preparing for war. So yeah, they have their playful side to them, but they still are very dedicated to their purpose to defend the land against outside threats. Alright, so close to the end, I had to skip some scenes because it's too graphic. I mean, this is certainly the most graphic game I've watched. I mean, they kind of put Zelda the same in a way. There's a lot of censoring I had to do, and there's still some videos I've done of Moon Touch that I'm still censoring. Things that don't seem to be censored enough. So after I'm done recording this, I'm gonna have to censor a bunch of stuff for this. Though it's not quite as much as like doing the ceremony. But that was a whole lot of censoring I had to do. But anyway, yeah, there's some images that kind of strong, even for me. I mean, yeah, I play furry visual novels regularly, but there's some things that even kind of gross me out a little bit. But otherwise, this is a very nice story. It's well done. The story is well done, and the images and the images and the background art, all of it's well drawn and put together. Is really amazing. So yeah, so I'm getting a little tired, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stop now. So don't know when chapter 2 will come out. Maybe later this year or maybe early next year. But anyway, when that comes out, I'll get to it right away. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.